Sa panahon ng mabilis na impormasyon at kaliwat kanang balita, kailangan mo ng isang channel na mapagkakatiwalaan, diretsyo at para sa bayan. Ito ang Balitang Pambansa, ang iyong bagong tahanan ng mainit na issue, tunay na impormasyon at mga balitang hindi mo dapat palampasin. Mula sa mga trending na kaganapan sa social media hanggang sa mga seryosong isyong pambansa. Bantay kami sa bawat sulok ng bansa para sa iyo. Hindi lang basta chismis, kundi validated news, mga impormasyon na may batayan at mga kwento ng tunay na buhay Pilipino. At kung gusto mong laging nauuna sa kaalaman, huwag kalimutang mag-like, mag-share at higit sa lahat, mag-subscribe. Dahil sa Balitang Pambansa, balita mo, boses mo, bayan natin ito.
Para tuloy-tuloy ang kanilang kaligayahan. Huwag po kayong mag-alala. Hindi po natutulog ang nasa itaas. Alam ko may mangyayari. Na-excite na ako eh. Kasi nasa dulo na tayo ng laban. Na-excite na ako. Huwag po kayong may stress. Mga nanay ko, mga mother, mga grandmother, grandfather, mga tatay ko dyan, huwag po kayo, mga auntie, mga uncle, huwag po kayong mag-alala. Nasa endgame na po tayo. Malapit na matapos si Bongbong Marcos dyan sa Malacanang. Oh, di ba? Oh, Erich! Pasok, Erich!
Wala ho tayong pakialam sa batas na yan. Sometimes, you have to bend the law to be able to please the people. Mas mataas po ang taong bayan sa batas. Am I right, Secretary Remulla?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Alright, reaction TVPS, nagbabalik reaction. Napakaganda po naman pag-uusapan natin yung mga kareaksyon. Mantagin po ninyo mga kareaksyon. Nasa survival mode na po ang mga kalaban natin. Sino nagsabi niyan? Ayan o. Ayan. Si Madam Rowena Guanzon, survival mode ni Marcos. Ayan. Itinalaga po niya si Bonjing Remula. Nako mga kareaksyon. Ngayon pakinggan po natin ang ating malupit na senador na si Senador Rodante Marcoleta. Ipapaliwanag niya kung bakit itong si Bonjing Remula ay isang survival mode. Talagang nasa tinatawag nilang desperate na po sila, desperate. Kung hindi ka ba naman ang desperado, gagawin mong ombudsman si Remula? Kung hindi ba naman hawak sa liig ni Bongbong Marcos o hawak sa bulsa ang mga tratadong ayoko na magsalita. Ito mga kareaksyon pakinggan po natin si Senator Marcoleta. Naku, napakalupit po nito Medyo English to pero itatranslate natin ng dahan-dahan Dahan-dahan. Mag-comment kayo sa comment section kung medyo mga naiiwanan kayo kasi marami tayong mga kareaksyon niya, medyo hindi masyadong malupit sa English, pero naniniwala ako marami din tayong mga kareaksyon diyan na matutulungan nila tayo na ipaliwanag ang sinasabi ni Senator Marcoleta dito sa comment section pakipaliwanag na lang po yung mga malulupit sa English dyan. I-comment nyo sa comment section. At yung mga katulad ko na medyo above minimal average lang sa English, mga ka-reaction, magtanong po tayo sa comment section at magpapaliwanag po yung ibang mga ka-reaction natin dyan. Halimbawa, merong magtatanong, ano ba yung ibig sabihin nun? Tapos yung mga nakakaunawa po mga ka-reaction, magre-reply siya. Parang conversation po tayo dyan sa comment section para tayo nagchat-chat. Mga textmate muna tayo ngayon sa comment section, okay? May mga magtatanong sa comment section, may mga magpapaliwanag. Sa Tagalog lang po wag sa Bisaya at saka sa English. English na nga, bibisayain pa natin Diba, ako nakakaintindi ako ng Bisaya, kaya lang yung mga Bisayang iba, hindi po nakakaintindi ng Bisaya. Joke lang po yun, Alright, simulan na po natin.
Yes, Your Honor. And the previous rules of the Judicial and Bar Council, those with pending cases or pending complaints are automatically disqualified. The case in point is that case of then Senator now Congresswoman Laila de Lima, because of her pending disbarment case in 2012, she was automatically disqualified. But soon enough, your rules were revised, and because of that, under Section 5 of your revised rules, Paragraph B, those with pending administrative cases or complaints before any court, office, tribunal, or government office, agency, or instrumentality, or before the IBP, or any association, disciplinary committee, or body, when in the determination of the council the complaints are serious or grave as to affect their fitness for nomination, ay disqualified lamang po. But again, kung madidetermine ng council na yung complaints are serious or grave as to affect their fitness for nomination. Ang ibig pong sabihin nito, Justice,
Wala,
if the council feels that the complaints are not serious or grave enough to affect their fitness or nomination, hindi po madi-disqualify yung applicant. Is that correct, sir?
With respect to disqualifications, there are automatic disqualifications.
O meron daw automatic, pero ang problema kasi, nung si Remula na ang itatalagang ombudsman at nag-apply, binago nila yung rules. Binago nila yung rules. Ibang klase po mga kareaksyon.
Like if you have been you have pending cases in criminal cases in the courts. And
Yes, Justice.
with
Ang
respect-
sinasabi ko po yung sa Section 5, which
Yes.
says the following are disqualified from being nominated for appointment in any judicial post or the position of ombudsman, deputy ombudsman.
Yes,
Ito pong sinabi ko, pero ang kolatilya po, when in the determination of the council, the complaints are serious or grave. Ibig sabihin po, kung hindi serious at saka hindi grave, hindi po siya madi-disqualify.
po,
That's right, sir.
it pertains to the administrative cases po. If it is pending in the ombudsman, an applicant is automatically disqualified. But with respect to the pending administrative cases or complaints before any office, court, tribunal, or any government office, ito po subject to this discretion of each member. Yun ang
Yun nga po ang ibig ko sabihin, Justice.
hindi ho automatic.
Yun nga po. So, ibig sabihin nito dahil nag-file po ng disbarment si Mayor Sebastian Duterte,
Yes po.
ibig sabihin po, in the discretion of the council, hindi siya serious or grave enough. Tama po ba?
Ang what I heard yesterday was the argument that it refers the complaint refers to the same act which was in a complaint previously dismissed by the ombudsman or earlier dismissed by the ombudsman. Nag-prevail na reason yesterday. I just cannot disclose the members who gave those reasons, but it prevailed yesterday. Yes, sir.
This representation, Justice, filed a sworn opposition to the application of Secretary Rimulya to the office of the Ombudsman on two grounds.
O di ba mga kareaksyon, dito kasi napagalata, nakakalungkot mga kareaksyon dahil mantagin ninyo ang daming kaso ni Remulla. Ang dami niyang kaso. Biglang na-dismiss yung mga kaso niya na isinampa ni Amy Marcos. Ang dami talagang kaso mga kareaksyon, pero bakit ganito ang bansa natin? Bakit ganito ang nangyayari? May kaso siyang kidnapping, may kaso siyang, marami siyang kaso. Pero bakit nabigyan siya ng clearance? Yun, grabe no mga kareaksyon.
Secretary Remulla publicly announced that he added restitution as requirement to the Witness Protection Program. That requirement does not exist in the law, but he insisted. That justice, to my mind, clearly indicates or demonstrate the lack of required legal acumen as well as adherence to the standards of probity befitting an ombudsman. Second, the Secretary's affirmation of the bending the law constitutes a violation of the Code of Professional Responsibility and Accountability. These two grounds, Mr. Justice, are not enough for the JBC to consider.
It's like this, we receive your complaint or opposition against Secretary Remulla. We considered the reasons, but there were two issues yesterday. First was whether or not is disqualified.
Hey, Judge, sandali lang, Judge. Nabayaran ka ba, Judge? Nabayaran ka? Tanong lang, Judge, nabayaran ka ba? Tanong lang. Malinaw na malinaw dito, mga kareaksyon, pakinggan po natin. Malinaw po dito, pakinggan po ninyo.
Putang ina ninyo.
Hindi yan. Masyadong mainit ang ulo ni Pangulong Duterte.
Wala ho tayong pakialam sa batas. Sometimes, you have to bend the law.
Ito yung sinasabi ni Marcoleta, mga kareaksyon, na umagri siya na i-bend yung law. Ito, pakinggan po ninyo.
Wala ho tayong pakialam sa batas. Sometimes, you have to bend the law to be able to please the people. Mas mataas po ang taong bayan sa batas. Am I right, Secretary Remulla?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yun po sinasabi ni Senator Marcoleta. Yung tanga, nagsabi niya, sometimes you have to bend the law, umagri naman itong isa, di ba? Naging ombudsman pa. Nakakadiri po ang ating gobyerno. Nakakadiri ka, Bongbong Marcos, survival mode ka na lang ba? Bumaba ka na dyan sa Malacanang, Bongbong Marcos!
Disqualified. And then doon na ho pumasok sa, because he was not disqualified, he can be voted upon, pumasok na ho doon yung consideration of the merits of your complaint. Doon no, he was not able to get a unanimous vote. Pero hindi ko na ho masabi ko sino yung mga votante. But they considered the reasons you gave. Your two reasons were very important. We received them, we read them, and we considered them.
How did you consider that?
Sana.
How did the council consider the sworn opposition?
Ano yun? Nasa weight na ho yun. Nasa weight. Not sa qualification or disqualification, but on the weight na sa voting ng a considered candidate, nandun na sa weight to yun. The members, majority are appointed by the president. They considered that it is, they voted, the majority voted for him, so they did not give it much weight, or the opposition.
Mr. Justice, one of the overarching principles that guided the creation of the 1987 Constitution is the desire to promote the rule of law, as is stated in our own preamble. Pag sinabi po nating rule of law, this is the guiding post. When somebody affirms that sometimes we can bend the law, the JBC took that very lightly, Mr. Justice?
No, Your Honor, we, in the interpretation of the law, we can be strict, or we can be, what do you call that? For example, in the interpretation of
Imaginein po ninyo mga kareaksyon si Senator Marcoleta. Binabalasa po niya dito justice. Ganyan po kalupit si Senator Marcoleta naman.
the Constitution, If you are a strict one, they call you an originalist. And if you want to adapt to the times, they call you are a believer of the living Constitution. I don't know.
We're not interpreting the Constitution, Mr. Justice.
Yes.
I'm asking you whether the rule of law is still the foundation of our Constitution.
It is.
Nako, nakakahiya po yun mga ka-reaction. Nakakahiya po yun, sasabihan ka ng isang senador na hindi naman justice. We are not interpreting the Constitution. Parang pinapakita po dito ni Marcoleta, tinuturuan mo yata ako ng Constitution. Di ba?
Is very much the foundation.
When somebody affirms
You want to adapt to the times, they call you are a believer of the living Constitution. I don't know.
we're not interpreting the Constitution, Mr. Justice.
Yes.
I'm asking you whether the rule of law is still the foundation of our Constitution.
It is very much the foundation.
When somebody affirms that the law can be bended, that is inconsistent with the Constitution. Don't you think so?
Yes, I agree with that, but sometimes it depends upon the context of how it is used, the bending of the law, whether it is freely, if they are interpreting it liberally.
Did you know how it was used, Mr. Justice?
Yes,
We were discussing
Yes,
whether
Your
or not restitution
yes, Your Honor.
is a requirement for an applicant to be processed under the Witness Protection Program.
Yes, yes.
And suddenly the Secretary of Justice insisted that one requirement is restitution. It is not there.
Aware of that. Yes.
And somebody suggested that sometimes the law should be bent. That was the context, Mr. Justice.
I heard it, Your Honor. I saw it on
And if you hear it from no less than the Secretary of Justice, abrogating all the cornerstones of our belief in ourselves, in our Constitution, then you still include him as an applicant to the Ombudsman. Somebody who will preside over the lives, the properties and liberties of every citizen of this country. You take light of that. The JBC will take light of that, Mr. Justice.
the majority considered it as slight.
So the majority
The majority.
took light of the opposition of a senator of this republic, Mr. Justice.
That is a fact, Your Honor.
And 6 of them, based on their discretion, the opposition is not worth it. Is that it, Mr. Justice?
There were
Napipi, mga ka-reaction, napipi po yung justice. Napipi. Tama nga naman yun, ha? Sabi ni Senador Marcoleta, wala bang bigat ang isang senador? Ang isang, sasabihin na natin na sulat na ipinadala ng isang senador na kanyang pagsalangsang sa isang tao na nag-apply bilang ombudsman dahil marami siyang kaso at hindi siya karapat-dapat na maging ombudsman dahil sa sinabi niya na ang batas ay pwede niyang balihin. Napipi po itong justice.
6.
So the majority
The majority.
took light of the opposition of a senator of this republic, Mr. Justice.
That is a fact, Your Honor.
And 6 of them, based on their discretion, the opposition is not worth it. Is that it, Mr. Justice?
There were 6 yes, excluding the secretary himself because he is also a member of the Judicial and Bar Council.
Because of his inclusion in the shortlist, Mr. Justice, will you favor amending further your rules
Yes, Your Honor. We
that
have-
would give a chance that all prospective nominees or applicant to the ombudsman should already be subjected not to the JBC but the Commission on Appointments.
It's up to you, Your Honor.
It's only a suggestion, Mr. Justice.
But with respect,
Just thinking aloud, Mr. Justice.
yes, Your Honor. With respect to the JBC, we have set tomorrow up to Friday to review and amend the internal rules of the JBC, considering past incidents. And we are inviting the public to submit their recommendations. So it will be a 3-day workshop to amend the internal rules of the Judicial and Bar Council.
What would you think of the public thinking that somebody who affirmed that sometimes we should bend the law has become the ombudsman of this republic?
I do not have time really to read the social media, but my position is different. I am a believer of the rule of law. I was a justice for several years at a regional trial court. When I was a regional trial court, I adhered to precedents. Also, when I was a justice in the Court of Appeals, I adhered to the precedents. When I was in the Supreme Court, whenever I make a ruling, I was very aware that our decisions will be considered as precedents by those following us. So that's my experience being in the judiciary. That's why I believe in the rule of law.
Thank you, Mr. Justice. Any more questions from the floor?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much, Justice, and welcome to the Senate and the Commission on Appointments. My first question is very simple. Is the exercise of the JBC's functions of shortlisting candidates for the judiciary ministerial? Is it merely ministerial, or does it involve judgment and discretion?
Your Honor, it involves judgment and discretion. With respect to the disqualification, there are automatic disqualifications if you have pending cases. But when you meet the criteria and you're not disqualified, then discretion comes in. There are so many factors to be considered by a member in considering an aspirant. Is not only his bar rating, his academic records are also looked into, his experience as a professional, the honors, the awards he garnered, his reputation also, his integrity,
Thank
and
you.
his record.
Thank you very much, Justice. In other words, the JBC is not a mere rubber stamp. Is that correct? I mean, its job is not merely to ensure that it ticks off all the requirements or deletes in the case of disqualifications. So otherwise, the Constitution wouldn't require such stringent qualifications for one to become a JBC member. Isn't that correct, Paul? Isn't it, though, before, applicants should have already qualified on the last day of the application? I heard this is the practice for regular applicants for the judiciary, the RTC. Why change it for some people? Why does the JBC keep changing its rules? Does the JBC favor someone? Why qualify an applicant on the very last day of final deliberations? I refer to the case of Attorney Logan, who was only issued an ombudsman clearance on October 6th, the same day the shortlist was released and sent to the office of the president due to 2 pending ombudsman cases. Why were the rules suddenly changed in her favor?
Actually, Your Honor, when we publish the announcement inviting applicants for we invite the public to report, to comment, to endorse or oppose the applications of those listed applicants. Not all submit their oppositions on time. There are those who submit their clearances when they apply. There are those who reserve or they ask for time to submit their clearances. And after that, there are also oppositions, complaints against the applicants. And in our experience, most of the complaints